So, this is Rack Noble for Boxing UK, sponsored by Supreme CBD. Here with Dean White. Dean, how's it going?
How you doing, my man? You good, yeah?
Like in the setup, you chose a good
Oh,
location for
it's
this interview.
amazing. It's lovely. It feels like we're on holiday somewhere, doesn't it? Nice little ambience, atmosphere out the back here. We're in Sion, Isleworth, Brent. It's good business. Nice, lovely, respectable press conference today. I'm happy that both gentlemen showed, their evolution as men, growing up in the sport and showing each other that respect. I don't think this fight needs to be sold. This fight sells itself, and hopefully we have a great fight, and both guys do what they're meant to do, and may the best man win. But hopefully it'll be Dylan on the night.
Talking of not needing to sell the show, it's already sold out. Eddie mentioned it in the press conference.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
pre-show sold out, and today officially it has officially sold out. All tickets gone. Not a word spoken between either man, and the public going to see it.
Absolutely. But it speaks for itself, the history in this fight and what this means to people in London. London, obviously we say UK because people are going to come from near and far to watch this fight. But I mean, these are London boys, grown and raised with culture, value, coming from where they've come from, coming from nothing to become something. Like he said, gaining vast experience in boxing, becoming multiple, millionaires, and setting up their families for life and so on, and leaving a legacy in boxing as well. So I mean, Dylan's done it the real hard way, and done a great job. I know Joshua's had the machine behind him, but yet again, that's still the pressure of the world on his shoulder, having to deliver. Equally, that is a humongous pressure and a daunting prospect also. But Dylan's had to do it the hard way and have to be the B-side throughout his career. Like he said, every fight is a must-win fight for Dylan. As has been a match. It's always been the ending of Dillian White's career and the defining moment and so on. And, here it is again. We're doing the same on a huge card on August the 12th at the O2.
Of course, 7 years on from their first encounter, both fights have had their ups and downs, their highs, their lows. At this point in Dylan's career, what would be the keys to victory? What would be the best of Dylan to get one over AJ in this night?
I'm not sure. Look, I don't want to go too crazy. I think they both got new coaches. It's about who gels the best with their coach to take the advice from a new coach and work out a strategy that works for him in the fight. For Dillian needs to work on things what people consider his Achilles heel, getting caught with an uppercut. So he needs to bridge that gap, so he doesn't get caught with that. He needs to not lean over his front foot, maybe box a little bit more on his back leg and set up stuff, have the distance correct so, he doesn't fall into any kind of attacks. Joshua, we know, is very good at uppercut. He's good at jab. He likes to jab, uppercut, left hook, and he likes to jab and hook off the same hand. So, I mean, there's lots of little things. And then when he does it, he throw the right hand behind that. So Dylan needs to gauge everything step by step. But look, there was very inexperienced young men, naive, coming through, with a chip on their shoulder, saying, they were just using, natural ability, not ability and skill, just that animosity, that raw talent, that aggression, and that was, that's what got both of them through that fight because they both was tired, after 3 or 4 rounds, and obviously Dylan had his moment in the second, and Joshua managed to get his second win and come back later. But I mean, now they've both gained invaluable experience fighting around the world, becoming household names, and now this is going to be, a battle of wills and whose metal and mental capacity can hold to be able to box down the stretch and, pick their shots correct and look for a KO or win on points. Like a win is a win, you know what I mean? So I'd ideally say I'd want him to take any kind of win that comes his way. So, instead of going to look for a knockout, if you can box your way to that or break your man down systematically, great.
Of course, Joshua's had links and talks with fighting in Saudi, Deontay Wilder. Do you feel that they could potentially maybe be overlooking Dylan in this fight and thinking this is just one step towards the bigger picture?
I don't think he would be overlooking Dylan. It would be a very, very silly and unwise thing to do. I think Joshua respects, like he said, all his opponents who he goes in the ring with. But I think he took this fight because he believes Dylan is the right man to bring out that old spark and that flame in him. I don't know. I'm not so sure. You can force a flame. I'm not so sure that's going to happen because he's too long in the tooth. He's made over 100 million. Everyone talks about. I don't know what he's made, but that it's hard to get out of bed, as Mayweather said, in silk sheets. You know what I mean? I know he wants to keep that purpose and hunger. He said people hate on him. I understand that. I think he's done a tremendous job for the sport as a young black man, being an ambassador for young black guys coming up, and young kids in general. I think he's done an amazing job. But at first, he is a young black man coming from the demographic where we come from. You know, he's a role model for people to look up to. So I talk at that aspect also. But for me, I've got nothing but respect for him because he's only been respectful and courteous to myself. We did have a rivalry early, but obviously I always said only until Dillian fights him again that, you know, but even now I've evolved as a man as well. And so is he. So, you know, you saw how respectful they both were and they showed each other respect. And as men, that's what we can do. And brothers coming from a similar background, you know, we shouldn't want to stump down. We should applaud each other and applaud him, you know, for keeping his, you know, himself in check and just saying, look, man, I'm going to take it as different stage. And even Dillian, we're going to need to applaud Dillian because Dillian, you know, sometimes can go off the handle. So we got to respect that he's coming in with the right frame of mind and just been humble and said, you know what, look, I'm going to go and do what I need to do and make my boxing kind of talk, you know what I mean?
Talking on yourself, Dylan and AJ, all three of you have come from a long way. And one thing in particular about yourself is the black box shows that you've got at Tolworth. You've got one coming up on the 29th for this month. Just talk us through how that's come from rags to riches, and that's now one of the most talked about events going on in South London.
Yeah, do you know what? I think obviously we came through in terms of the media side. I tend to do a lot of media, which is sort of gone. I tend to do a lot of media, which is sort of garnered myself as someone who does pre and post fight analyst kind of thing and breakdowns, you know what I mean? Across the world, which is good. I've traveled, spent my own money to build my lane as well because you know, no one didn't pay me to go, or maybe sometimes they did, but I mean, you know what I mean? I took my chances myself early, and then obviously sponsors and other relationship with other people got me into the doors. But obviously, it's gone from strength to strength. You know, I saw a hole in the market and I capitalized and, you know, went on and I felt like we could bring something niche, something different, something new, something fresh. So now we've been just, you know, banging on and banging out these shows. This year is a big year because obviously it was a year for us to build our fighters quite quickly and give them the momentum, you know. Some people don't have that momentum. Some fighters, they don't have a platform where they can fight consistently and continue to build physically, mentally, and get that. You know, like how Matchroom got their fighters, they get them out regular. My main guys are constantly in shape and fight ready because they fight quite often. If you have the capacity to so they can do. We don't have the funding in them, but we do put on a great show, give them all the opportunities, and we do try and help as much as we can. But all the guys are getting into 7, 8, 9 and 0, 10 and 0 and so on, and they're going to be in a position to fight for titles very, very shortly, you know. And this is where we're at. So it's a good place, a good thing to be. You know, next year I'll probably take the numbers down on how much I show and spread them out a little bit, but then hopefully we'll have bigger fights by then. Do you know what I mean?
And of course, you've got a show coming on the 29th of July.
29th of July.
Just talk us through what we can expect and who we can see on that card.
I think we've got some, you know, we've got that Dee Allen, as you mentioned. What is it? She's a European champion now. Or
She's fighting European champion. She's managed you for the European champion.
Yeah.
She's one fight off from it.
Yeah, so she's a little bit of a knockout queen. So it's good to have her. And we've got the Indian WBC champion is on there. We've got some young talent. We've got Jermaine Brown's going to be coming. He's going to do an 8-rounder, I think. Good, nice, solid test for him. There, someone's going to come and bring Alfie Clegg's back out again. Who else is on there?
Alfie's been looking good.
Great knockout. Yeah, I mean, Alfie's come on leaps and bounds, man. You know what I mean? So I think the world is there, the oyster is there for Alfie to build and do something and come behind some of the guys that's in his weight class. But we still got a lot. He's still young. Obviously, we're moving him on decently, but we still got to, you know, we got to be smart with him and let him do his apprenticeship and not run too fast before, you know, he can walk. But I mean, you know, he's on there. I think I don't know where my head is. My head's gone a bit.
You're on holiday mode, mate.
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, there's lots of good guys on the card anyway. Young prospect. You can check out on the Black Box Global page, so you will be able to see. So yeah, but I mean, we got just over 2.5 weeks, so it's interesting.
Very much, Dean. We'll be there on the 29th.
Thanks very much.
We'll be there on the 12th of August. Team White.
Bless.